You know, I received a message a few moments ago from a friend of mine in Nigeria. And I'm going to say this because perhaps they can benefit, we can all benefit. And the idea of the message was perhaps good, in the sense that they wanted to say, look, as Muslims, in our weddings, we should try and have a bit of modesty, and we should behave in a more respectful way, etc. Up to that point, I agree. I would say that right now, that as Muslims, we should be, right? We all would agree. Try and have the day you're sowing the seed of your entire future, why do you want to make it the displeasure of Allah? That's the most powerful way of looking at it. I'm about to sow the seed for the rest of my life, the taqdeer and the predestiny, everything's coming into effect today. I'm going to be having children, inshallah, the future's going to be coming, inshallah. Allah knows about it, and on this day is the same day that everything I've done is within the displeasure of Allah. That embarrassment of the thought should be enough for me to be able to hold back is within the displeasure of Allah. That embarrassment of the thought should be enough for me to be able to hold back and say, hang on, I can do anything but not today. Even if I'm a weak Muslim. You get my point? I might be weak. I'll do anything, not today. By right, we're not supposed to be doing anything anyway, any day. It's always supposed to be within the pleasure of Allah. But I'm talking of, if you have a weakness, try and cut it on that day. The problem with weddings is, even those who don't generally have weaknesses, they tend to think this is the, when you're on diet, what do you call the one day? The cheat day, right? They tend to think, okay, this is the cheat day, you can do as you want. That's wrong. So we sowed the wrong seed. So I received a message, it was okay. But then they had a photograph of people, one example and another example, an example of someone who wasn't a Muslim, and there was a picture of perhaps a wedding scene, and another example of people who were Muslim, and there was a picture of a wedding scene, and another example of people who were Muslim, and there was a picture of a wedding scene, and they were trying to show you, look how bad the Muslims have become, and look at how, and yet these are known people in society. For me, that is such a big backbiting issue, that all your reward has gone to those people. They probably will come out of whatever they were doing more clean than any one of us who've been forwarding those messages about them, trying to give an example. Yet the fact that we mentioned names and had pictures is what rendered it a crime in the eyes of Allah. It became backbiting, belittling someone. For what? Probably the people who are forwarding messages might have in their private lives greater sins than that. So if you want to correct someone, go back to Ma Balu Aqwam. Go back to the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ where he generalized it. He said, look, my brothers, my sisters, there are people, perhaps we need to do this. We need to make sure that we have a link with Allah. We need to make sure that we don't do the wrong thing, etc.